Bow to your sensei!
Hey guys, welcome back to RBB. I'm Aaron, and today we are going to be continuing on with our concepts on EDC. So today we're actually going to talk about what I believe is kind of the core of the gear discussion, and that is your EDC bag. I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say about the overall concept once it finally comes out. So without further ado, let me show you my current EDC bag, and that is a Mystery Ranch Gunfighter 14 liter. Please do not be beguiled by the name of it being Gunfighter. It could be the Mystery Ranch Chicken Farmer 14 liter for all I care. What you should take away from this is that it's a container that holds stuff, and it has some pretty decent pockets, although I will admit at the beginning, this was not built as an EDC bag. I am converting it into an EDC bag for my purposes. So without further ado, you'll notice that there are two outside pockets, one just for small stuff. In this, I typically keep my everyday kind of hygiene stuff. You'll see I have some hand lotion in my neck of the woods. It gets really dry this time of year, so keeping your hands from cracking is a big deal. And also, based on what Ian's EDC talked about, having some clean wipes. I've never really fussed with them before, but I started to realize, you know what, there are times when you're about to eat something and there's no place to wash your hands, that having some handy wipes that can disinfect are a brilliant idea. So thanks for that, Ian. Additionally, I have some other types of just, again, I paid for all of this stuff, but I have some dude wipes, which I think are pretty funny. But they basically, if you start to stink and you don't want to stink anymore and you're out away from home, these can be kind of a lifesaver if you have to clean up really fast and introduce yourself to somebody and try to make a good first impression. In addition, I'm not really a big caffeine drink guy, especially coffee. I just don't like the taste of it. I know that puts me in the minority, and that's fine. But there are times when you need a little pick-me-up. And for me, I believe that the best thing running are the Modi caffeine gums. These are pretty useful. If you take two of these, it's basically two of these little tablets, which are, I think they're wintergreen flavor, mint. They just call them mint flavor. These will wake you up. Two of these are equal to about a really serious energy drink. Each one of these little tablets, these little gums, have 100 milligrams of caffeine in them. So if I've been working at the range and I'm halfway through the day, and then I got to go teach a class full of people, and I feel like I've been dragging, I'll pop one of these in, and then all of a sudden I'm Mr. Hey, this is a good class type of guy. And that just kind of gets me to wake up and be able to deliver some information in a more lively manner. So I keep these with me, and you're going to start to see a common thread when it comes to the stuff, the food and the stuff that I chew on. Whether it's snack bars or protein bars, you're going to start to see a little common thread that I'll explain later. The next zippered pouch up, I keep a couple of different things. This is where I will keep my earbuds. Again, nondescript brand. I have just some clippers, fingernail clippers, and a couple of other little hygiene things in case you crack a nail or something like that and it starts to really split into your fingernail. It's nice to just be able to clip them off. Besides that, I also have a, believe it or not, I never thought that this would be something I would use, but it is a handheld keyboard that folds up. So when I actually have to type something, or I'm typing out a script, or I'm writing a longer email to try and get something out, I will actually use a portable, foldable keyboard that is Bluetoothed to my phone. So that's pretty helpful. And I've used it more than I thought I would. Even though the keys are pretty close together, once you get used to it, it's not the worst thing in the world, and it's better than using two thumbs to try and type things out on your phone if that's all you have. The last thing that I keep in this pocket is a little bit of clean silverware. If for whatever reason I'm out and I need to grab some food, it's nice to know that I've got a knife, fork, and spoon. These are just camping spoons. I keep them in a Ziploc bag, but it's basically just campingware. You can get these a pack of knife, fork, and spoon for generally less than $1 anywhere, and they are dishwasher safe. You can wash them. I use these all the time at work for the lunches that I bring, and so I couldn't recommend them more than having your own set of utensils, especially if you're out somewhere and they give you those really cruddy little spoons that don't hold anything in them. Behold that spoon. That spoon is worthy, as well as having a decent fork. That's also helpful too. So I just keep my own. And do you need them? No. Have I used them before? Heck yes, I have, and I will continue. So that's my recommendation. The next thing I want to show you about this bag that is not the actual Mystery Ranch part are these two admin pouches here and here. Those are aftermarket, and I found that there just wasn't enough organization with this bag for my needs. So I purchased these from an outside vendor, and I attached them using the PALS system, the Molly, and they work great. And so each of these pockets have their own stuff in them that I use pretty regularly, actually. So the first thing on the outside, it's hook and loop fastener, Velcro, and inside are old man glasses. If you get to a certain age and your eyeballs start to wear out anywhere between 45 and 60, everyone is stricken with presbyopia, and you can't see your fingerprints on your fingers anymore, you need old people glasses. And so I learned from a guy a long time ago that instead of buying a one fancy pair, buy about 24 pair and put them all around your house, put them in your vehicle, put them in your pack, because they don't have to be fancy, but when you need them, you need them. And I'm to the point now where I cannot read small font stuff, so I absolutely need these for reading close-up stuff. So the next thing in this same pouch for me is I have a couple of pens. One is a space pen that works really well with the Write in the Rain notebook. I think it works way better than like a gel pen does. So this is the space pen, the Fisher space pen, and then this is a Sharpie gel. Again, I'm not selling anything. I'm just telling you what I have. I have a small marker, or a fairly thin marker. Markers are very useful for a lot of different purposes. And I also have a couple of different flashlights in here that I've been testing out. I will probably do a video on them separately, but these brand are Olight. And before anybody attacks me saying, hey, that's a Chinese company, and do you want your money going to the Chinese Communist government? No, I don't. But unfortunately, the reality is, folks, is that there's just not a lot of American companies that are making flashlight technology and keeping up with what's capable and possible now. So having said that, I'm not in love with Olight, and I'm certainly not selling. I'm not making any money off of doing this, but I'm being honest with you. I paid full price for everything here, and this is what I'm trying to show you, is that this is the state of technology out here right now. And there's two reasons why I bought this light system. Number one, the light is actually in a power bank. So the power bank can be used not just to recharge this flashlight battery, but also it can be used to recharge everything else with a USB-C cord. And so you can recharge your phone, you can recharge your earbuds if you need to, and you don't have another power source. This has the capability of doing this. The flashlight actually works just on inside the power bank, which is a nice feature if you just need it momentarily. And then you can also take the light out. It's very small. And what I really appreciated about it are these, what you would call a pocket clip, but I would call it a baseball cap clip, is very useful. And you can use it just by itself. You can use this as a headlamp if you have something like a baseball cap. or even like a cowboy hat, I guess. And then once you're done with it, you drop it right back to the power bank, and it sits there dual use, both as a power bank and as a flashlight. Now, as I was kind of going down the rabbit hole of flashlights and ones that are rechargeable, I also got another Olight, and I don't know exactly what model this is. I take that back. It's the Arcfeld Pro, and I got it in a non-tactical color, and this is just more of kind of like an everyday utilitarian flashlight. It has UV light, it has an actual LED light, and then it has a laser on it depending upon the selector switch. But this is something that I use quite regularly. But again, I'm not selling anything. I'm just kind of telling you what I have in my EDC bag. I'm a big believer in white light, and as you age, about every 10 years, your eyes, as you hit a certain age, 30, 35, your eyes start to age as well, and you actually need more light than you would when you were younger, just because your eye doesn't take in light as well as it used to. So having a lot of white light sources around, and those are over and above the CR123 powered Surefire flashlights that I keep on me, on body carried for every day. So these are in addition to those. When I don't want to burn the batteries down, I'll use these, and these can be recharged and I don't have to worry about them going out when I really need them. So besides that, another thing I learned from looking at some other EDC bags is to have some smaller zip ties with you. Zip ties are very helpful for 1,000 different reasons, and that's why it's a dual purpose item that you should definitely keep with you. Going over to the other component, the other admin pocket, is my overall power bank. Now this power bank, I keep it in a Ziploc bag, and I have multiple cords. This is one of the biggest ones that I could find that would still be considered a portable power bank that you could carry EDC. It's weighing in at about 2.5 pounds, but it takes both USB cords and USB-C cords, and it'll charge a lot of things a lot of times. So I look to you guys to just do the research, but again, I couldn't even pronounce the brand name on this because it's Chinese, which almost all of these are. In fact, I would venture to say all of them are that you're going to find. And so there's really no way around that. But having a power bank now with all of the stuff that we have with our in my case, my flashlights, my phone, my earbuds, it's really useful. And especially if I happen to go out and I'm doing some quick filming and one of my batteries are low on, say, one of my GoPros, it's really helpful to be able to throw one of these things on, and while you're using the GoPro, just to kind of keep things running so you can get those awesome moments. So that's really all that I keep in this other admin pouch. So as we look at the main compartment, which isn't really that big, I don't keep a ton of stuff in here, and there's still a little bit of space left. So this opens up in such, and then you open it up, and it basically is it goes down about halfway, and you can kind of see what's in there. So the first thing I have in here is CR123 additional batteries for the flashlights, which is pretty crucial for me. I also have a stocking cap. This is a kind of colder part of the year, and even though I prefer wool caps because they can be dual purpose, wool is a natural thermal insulator, so if you have to grab something, you can actually use a wool cap as a heating pad to basically protect your hand to grab something really quickly and move it out of the way. The problem is that my daughter bought this for me. It's made of fleece, so it does not have any thermal protective properties. This thing would basically graft to my skin in very hot temperatures. So I'm not going to be staying with this as my EDC cap, but she's watching to make sure that I'm using it. So I make sure that I keep it close for now. And then I'm going to go back to one of my mini wool caps that, and then keep this for when I go out and do things with her. So The next thing I have in here is my first aid kit. And I was a first aid instructor for a couple of years, which means I know nothing. And so I know how to put Band-Aids on. And so my first aid kit is very simple. Yes, I do have a tourniquet in there because I was trained to use that as well. But it's pretty simple stuff. I created it myself. Basically have rubber gloves, some Band-Aids, some sterile wipes, some antibiotic, and some self-adhesing medical tape. And other than that, I also have some dental picks, which I think are probably more in the hygiene category, but I just keep them with my first aid stuff, just so that when you are out and you get stuff stuck in your teeth, these things are a lifesaver to get stuff out and not drive you nuts. So below that, really the only couple of other things that I keep in my bag are, and this is going to be one of those key components as well. It's going to be, I have a stack of about 3 protein bars and 3 granola bars that I try to keep stocked in my gear. And one of the things I do with the markers is I will actually mark these to make sure that I'm eating them in the proper order. And that may sound goofy, and it probably is, but what I don't want is one of these things to be stuck down there for about 6 months and me cycling through just the ones on the top, and then come to find out 6 months later that it's expired and it's all dry and nasty. But I believe, and this is where we're starting to talk about the kind of the get home bag concept. I believe if you're going to have little scraps of food that you keep with you, that it should be in your EDC bag where you are touching it and you are dealing with it more often. And that helps for the turnover, because in a lot of cases, if you just have a standalone go bag or get home bag, all your stuff is going to sit there and it's going to get old, and you're not going to replace it. And so my recommendation is that your food that is more likely to expire, keep it closest to you and cycle through it. Now, I do have food that I keep in my car with my get home stuff as a possibility, so that if I need to select some food because I may be walking farther than 5 miles and I want to be able to, if necessary, you always want to have a little more food than you think you're going to need. So I do have freeze-dried food there, which would probably be, if you go to an outdoor store, any of those freeze-dried packages that you can stand, that's probably what you'd see me getting as well. So I will keep those in the car, because those properly stored, they can last you 10 years in there. So that's my recommendation, is keep your snacks, your power bars and your protein bars, keep them close, and that way you can cycle through them faster than if they're sitting out in your car somewhere waiting for you to have the biggest emergency of your life. So other than that, and this is because I'm a gun guy, I do have a little gun cleaning kit. I actually this was one of my first videos, was a little gun cleaning kit. Now this actually has a few little items. It has a bore snake, it has oil, it has and I've said this before, a toothbrush, an old toothbrush. It has 9 lives. Never get rid of these things, because there's always another use for them. And then I also have a Glock Armorer's kit, basically from a different company. And so I can pretty much take the gun all the way apart to its smallest pieces, put it back together, clean it, and keep it running if I'm out away from home and away from my workbench. So for me, this is kind of a crucial piece. I'm probably popping this thing open once a week to run the bore snake through my barrel, and making sure the gun's all oiled up. And so this is not something that I just take lightly or just sits in there for no reason. So I do have a couple of other things in here. One of those is for this bag. One of the things that I really felt would make this bag more useful is if it had a beaver tail. And so I looked around some of my older kit, and I found a beaver tail that could actually attach at the bottom and attach at the top, and allow you space to put a coat into, or to put a few extra things on. And I found one from my Tad Gear stuff that it absolutely fits perfectly. It's in a different color. It's in black, So it's not going to be real sexy looking, but it gets the job done if you need more surface area to carry more stuff. So guys, this is the basis of my EDC gear, and or what my wife calls a man purse. And frankly, I don't care, because this is gear that helps me get down the road, and I don't have to wait until I get back home to do things, or wait until I get back to the office to do things. This is stuff that I can do right where I'm at in a lot of cases. So I'm interested to hear what you think. I'm interested to hear what you do differently. So let me know down in the comments below, and we'll talk to you next time right here on Ranges, Backstops, and Burns.